Bitcoin crashing. How low can it go? Let's take a look at the actual chart. Let's look at the previous bull markets, the bear markets. What are we missing? What is the story? What is really going on here with Bitcoin? And let's talk about it here. In this video, let's try to make a prediction on how low or possibly how high Bitcoin could go from here. Let's go. What's going on, guys? It's been a while since I've talked about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about just overall, what are we looking for? What are we watching? And what is going on? So if you see the chart here, this is the daily chart. And I've used this chart multiple times for videos. You can see here some of my old kind of price targets. Now, what's interesting here is if you look back, we made this price target. This was back in 2018, March 2018, predicted a 85% pullback from the high, which was up there at the $19,000 area, which put us right down here to guess down there to the $3,000 area. We got down to $3,335. So that was pretty much spot on. But let's just take a look here. Let's just take a look at what happened in the past and what is going on with Bitcoin today. Now, we have this blue line here, and that's the 200-day moving average. If you see what just happened recently, well, not really recently, but back in September, we broke below that 200-day moving average, and we started to kind of use that 200-day moving average as resistance. Let's zoom in here. Look at that blue line kind of holding it down. Now, if you look at the RSI down there, you can argue with me that the RSI works, maybe doesn't work. But overall, we're just trying to look at kind of patterns here and why Bitcoin could go lower from here. Why could Bitcoin go lower from here? Now, you can also see today, this is a daily candle. If you see here, we did pull back down there to 6,800. We have this previous kind of support that we bounced at before, right at that spot as well, which is kind of a weird spot there. I don't know why that's like a weird color. What is that? I don't know. But you see that line there, we bounced right there at the $7,300 area. And guess what? Today, we have now, we'll say, pretty much bounced back above that or right up to that $7,300 area. So bouncing down there from 7,000 up there to 7,343. Now, if you go back over here to the daily chart, let's keep an eye on this 100-day moving average. What is happening? The last bull market that we had, or the last big bull market, we go all the way back. We're going way back here. All right. Now, if you look at this, this was back in 2017. The price of Bitcoin back in 2017. We gotta go way back here. The price of Bitcoin in 2017. What we're looking for now is I want to see when was the last time we were underneath the 200-day moving average. And, well, we're going back. 2016, 2015, still not below it. Okay, so here's an interesting pattern. Now, this is back in 2015. We broke above the moving average after we were below the moving average, which we talked about before, which, if you look at this chart now, does this look familiar? Does this look like something that is happening today? Maybe take a kind of bigger picture here. All right, so we went from $100 up there to $1,000. We pulled back. We had another little pop. This was kind of the idea. So we pulled back. We went up to 1,000. We pulled back down there to the $400 area. We had a little rally back up to the EMAs there, the moving average there, the 200-day moving average up there, $600. And people thought, okay, this is the bottom. It's going to go higher. Well, look at this. We continued to go lower from there, down there to the $200-day, $200 area, and kind of just went sideways for a while. And then finally, again, we broke above the 200-day moving average there. We stayed above it for a second. We pulled back. We kind of broke above it again, and then we stayed below it for quite some time. Now, if you look at this today, it's looking very similar. Obviously, looking a little bit different, but overall, we had this big spike. We pulled back, got below the moving average. We stayed below it for quite some time. We broke back above the 200-day moving average. We went back up here to the 14,000, And guess what? We are now back below the 200-day moving average. Have a little fake out right here above that 200-day moving average. So what I'm thinking is that this thing's going to go lower. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, that there's a good chance that we're going to kind of roll off here. There's also a chance we kind of bounce around here for a second, and then we kind of start to, push back. So let's say we push, we go up to here. We go up to like 9,000 again, and then we kind of get stuck underneath the moving average, and then we're kind of like that. Go, oh, yeah, maybe like that. Kind of like rolling back down to here. I'm not saying we're going to go that low, but you can see we're right now kind of oversold on the RSI. So if you're using the RSI, this could be kind of an idea that we kind of bounce from 7,500, a little bit back up here, 8,000, 9,000, and then start to kind of roll off and stay below that moving average. So what I'm watching before really the next big move would be the idea of us staying below the moving average for quite some time, kind of in that bear market, at least till 2020 or more, staying below there, kind of pulling back down there to the $3,000 area one more time. I like to see $3,000 one more time. I don't know, maybe I'm being greedy, but with this idea that this moving average could now possibly kind of just roll, kind of just make a little hump here, and guess what? This puts us kind of down at the $3,000 area. Now, like I said, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that 200-day moving average with the idea that if we can stay above it, if we want to push above it and we want to stay there, that could be the beginning of the next bull market. You can see in 2017, from $800 all the way up to $20,000, we never got back below it. I mean, really, this thing did not go back below the 200-day moving average for quite some time. It really here. So it pulled below 200-day moving average. It went spiked back up there and kind of pulled all the way back down to that double bottom, which was $173, which again, we had that big move up 2,000%. We pulled back 80% down there to the 200-day moving average below there, and then $200 pulling all the way back down there. So we had that big move to the upside. We've talked about this before, how we got that 80% pullback. This 80% pullback put us exactly at $3,000 in this last bull market, which we talked about before. This big pullback from that 11,000% move from $20,000 back down there to $3,000, which we were right about. We got that exact pullback, that 85% pullback down there to the $3,000 area. And again, looking at that $3,000 area one more time. So the 200-day moving average, the idea that we're going to get that double bottom, just like we got back here in 2014, 2015, had that big move, had the 85% pullback. This is a chart from back in the day, and this has happened multiple times. 82% pullback there, 85% pullback there in 2015, 85% pullback there in 2018. So this is not like witchcraft. This is not me sitting here just kind of guessing. This is the idea that we've had this pattern happen multiple times. It's happened before, and we're thinking that there's a good chance that we get one more pullback down there to the 85% area, which would be that $3,000 from the high back there in 2017, the end of 2017, the biggest, kind of Bitcoin bubble ever. And you can see it took a long time. So we basically went from 2014 all the way till 2017. 2017, the beginning, July 2017, summer of 2017, before we really started to ramp up again. And that's looking like there's a kind of a same possibility here. And you can see the RSI. We still had, some big sell-off in the RSI there on the daily chart, kind of pulling back. But we kind of just consolidated for quite some time there. So I'm looking at this like, okay, we had this little pop here on the 200-day moving average. We stayed below there. We popped back above it. And now I'm thinking, so my bet or, my trade on this is I'm just sitting back and waiting, giving it some time. And I think we're going to have some time. We're going to have a chance to buy it lower from here. And like I said, there probably is going to be some bounces along the way. Might get another bounce back over the $9,000, maybe $8,000 area, kind of bouncing around there. And then we might get that pullback from there. So that's what I'm watching, people. I got a close eye on this 200-day moving average, and I got the idea that we've touched kind of double bottoms before after this kind of big overall patterns, which we talked about before. This 2,000% move, we got the 85% pullback. We had this major move, we got the 85% pullback. But again, we got that double touch down to that kind of bottom there. So again, look at this. $182 area, $200. Had that pullback after that big move. And you can see $200. We kind of bounced, and then we pulled back one more time. So that's why I'm betting, or that's why I'm basically trading with the idea that we're going to get another pullback down here to the $3,000 area one more time. It's not rocket science. It's just the idea of looking out patterns and looking at the idea that if we do start to sell off, when we get below 6,000, we get below 5,000, it's going to be just a lot of panic and a lot of people getting scared. And I'm going to be truthful with you guys. I'm sitting back and I'm waiting and I'm watching. I'm being patient. I don't need to buy today. I don't need to buy tomorrow. I don't need to buy the next pop. I don't need to buy, even if Bitcoin goes back to $10,000, I still don't need to buy. All I need to do is just sit back and wait for the right opportunity. Is that to say that maybe I miss out on some gains along the way? Possibly. But do I think that Bitcoin is going to go from $7,000 back up there to $20,000 like that? No, I do not, my friends. No, I do not. So 200-day moving average, as long as we're below there, we should continue lower. And just the overall pattern here, maybe pop back up there, maybe a little beat, and then we're going to pull back, looking for that $3,000 area as my buy target. 3,000. It's on deck, baby. It's on deck. Let's go.